family of podcast.
You're listening to the Cantina Cast, your home for thought-provoking Star Wars talk. Join Albert and Jonesy in breaking down the latest news, trailers, movies, and of course, your favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mando Monday. I am your host, Mike Rondo, and it's been a week, and here we are again. This episode is kind of weird for me, but I'll get into that in a second. So first and foremost, I got to talk about all the good things, which was Baby Yoda getting electrocuted, and all that. Cara Dune, Grief, seeing him, and what's the face, Mithril showing up again, and I thought the comedy between Grief and Mithril that was really good, and even Cara in between. That dynamic was really, really good. That was great. The episode was it was kind of weird. I mean, I usually do the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is kind of going to be all over the place. It's just I don't know. I didn't know where to go with this one. So I know when I first watched it, I thought again, okay, all right. The bad is really just the continuing of the RPG monotonous questing and dropping the kid off at the babysitter, the convenient babysitter that keeps appearing each adventure. I don't know. That's very, very weird to me. But in any case, it was great to going back to Navarro and seeing the town is kind of revitalized, the IG-88 tribute, so that maybe that view of droids isn't, obviously it's not that bad in Navarro, right? So, and it was nice to see everything thriving, except there's this one little problem of the Imperials still, one little stronghold, which is kind of weird in a sense because Gideon, he was like there running the show and then he left for some reason. Maybe because the child's not there, I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll find out. Other things that I liked, the effects, the action was really good. I thought the pacing was really good. And I don't know. Well, let's get to the elephant in the room here. We're going to jump into this. I don't know how I feel about this because, Carl Weathers, I think he did a great job. I think this was his first time directing. I think he did far better than I could do, right? But this here, Gene's guy, that's a problem, man. I mean, I know us Star Wars fans are running with it and having fun and enjoying the laughs. And, I've seen a lot of memes and stuff, and that's great. He's almost as enduring as Baby Yoda. Not quite, but it's getting there. It's got a lot of steam behind it. I just don't like that this kind of blunder happened. And of course, there was another training mat that was on the floor where Cara Dune was fighting the Aqualesh, and that's kind of a problem too. Although you can kind of say, "Oh, it was a sleeping mat." This is kind of a bigger blunder. I mean, how do you describe this in the canon? Right? You can't. I know. I didn't see it initially. It's dark. This is obviously a photo that they lightened up here. What site is this? Inside themagic.net. They lit up the photo here, which a lot of people did. So this here, I hope they go back and digitally remove this at some point. I don't know if that's going to happen. Do you leave it? Do you ignore it? What do you do? What in your mind? What do you do? And if you're Carl Weathers as a director, I don't even think because the set I'm sure was dark, and they only got one take to do this shot, and they got it, and then even in editing, maybe they didn't even see it. I've had times where I'm editing the show or whatever, and there's a flub, and you don't even notice it until after, and you're like, oh crap, So I don't know. At least with audio, you can go in and you can kind of trim most of that out. Video, it's kind of hard to do, but I hope they do go back and kind of take that out. I don't know if they will. We'll see. The other thing I found very odd in this is, okay, so they go to the hideout, right? And everything's great. They break in, they do their thing. We find out the big mystery, which I'll get into in a minute. And then Mando's got to get back to the child because he's worried. And of course, he just flies out when you say to yourself, oh, he could have just flew right into there. But anyway, in any case, the weird part, and this fuels rumors that were going around about Pedro Pascal kind of not happy no, he can't take his helmet off or whatever, and he's not. There's part of the rumor is that part of the season he's not even around for most of it, and then you see this, and you're kind of like, oh, I could see why that rumor gets started. Um, so I don't know. It was kind of it was weird to me that they did that shift in the middle of it. And of course he comes back with the Razor Crest, does the hero move and saves the day. So it kind of works out. They did that very well. If I don't know if I believe the rumors or not, because then earlier, in which I thought was great, because this ties into what Bo Katan said the previous episode when she had the helmet off and she said, "This is the way." Is obviously he's taking the helmet off a little bit now and taking a sip of the broth or whatever, and Baby Yoda's like trying to peek in and take a look or whatever. I think you would remove the helmet for Baby Yoda, to be honest. I think that should be the first being that sees him without the helmet. I think personally, that's just my take on that. But I thought that was great. Like we had again very subtle character growth with Din, where he takes it off a little bit, and that was really cool. So let's get into what do we want to get into? The Snoke thing. Yeah, well, let's get into Snoke here. So we get the big reveal. Of course, it's funny when they came in and they were shooting at the. I don't want to say that because I think New Rockstars pointed out in their video in their breakdown that these cloners don't have, not that they're cloners, but their patch doesn't match up to Pershing's patch quite exactly. So this might be something completely different. So we'll have to find out eventually what that meant. But I thought when they were shooting at the control thing, I thought that was Exegol for a moment. I was like, ooh, is that but it wasn't that. It was it was a round sphere something, but it wasn't anything to do with that. So we didn't get a hint there. Now, looking at this image, it's funny. When I first saw it, I didn't know what to think. It looks like, if you're looking here, it's hard to see here, but it looks to me like, I don't know if I could zoom in on this. Let's see. Let's see if I could. I don't think I can zoom in. Let's try that. There we go. Maybe we can zoom in here. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So as you can see here, that face kind of looks like Palpatine to me. It looks like I know everyone's saying Snoke, and the Snoke theme was playing when it appeared, but there seems to be a few different beings in there. Like there's one moment it looks like Snoke, and I'll agree with that. It looked just like Snoke, but then this is the one where they show where it's like right on. And this looks like that grin of Palpatine, that nose of Palpatine, but it also looks like there's another face merging in with it. It looks like two faces merging into one here. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now we got the answer for Baby Yoda. They need his blood for his M count or midi-chlorian count to help the Emperor live. We kind of figured that out. I mean, the body here looks a little bit Snoke meets Palpatine kind of thing. Like, I don't know. This is weird. Very Elephant Man from that movie looking thing going on here. Maybe that was a callback to that, which would be interesting. So that was kind of cool. That was interesting. I'm glad they went there. That was kind of cool that they're bridging a little bit. I don't want too much bridging into the sequel trilogy just yet. Like little hints like this and subtleties is good. I like that. That's going in a good place. And then, of course, here we go. We got another image of that there. And then we get to the Dark Troopers. And as I blew it up here, I can't see where. Oh, here we go. This image here, as we can see, it's funny when it lined. And when I first saw it, I'm like, because it's dark and it's hard to see. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, were they cloning Anakin and making like Darth Vader troopers? Like that's what I thought it was at first. And there may be a lot of cloning because I know someone pointed out, and I think it was New Rockstars. They pointed out that the one of the concept arts, it looks like Maul is being cloned. So maybe there's clones of. I wouldn't put it past the Emperor to do that. I mean, he cloned himself, right, or tried to, or whatnot. So you got to think that maybe Anakin at some point was getting cloned, and maybe this is what these things are. I don't know. But well, they're Dark Troopers, and they're supposedly mechanical. They're be interesting to see these things going on in. I don't know if it'll be next week's episode, but maybe the following week episode. And I know next week's episode, you have to put, if you are a betting man and a sure bet, you'd have to say Dave Filoni directing next week. That's when we're going to see Ahsoka. And I'm wondering if, with the homing beacon on the Razor Crest, that, Gideon finds him and these troopers kind of attack and and he's outnumbered, ready to, things are going to end badly. And, maybe I get that moment that I thought I was going to get when he was rescued as a child with a battle droid. I was going to see Ahsoka's lightsabers go through and, you know, reach out with his hand or whatever. Maybe we'll get this with Ahsoka. She sticks a saber through and saves him again before he dies before a machine, which would be kind of more symbolic in the sense that, he's changing again. He was rescued again. Like we saw Bo reach out with the hand and kind of save him and kind of show him a new lay. And then maybe Ahsoka does the same thing here and we go on from there. But in any case, I don't know. What do you guys think of this episode? Overall, I like the big elements and the surprises that we got and connecting to a bigger world. I think the big thing for me was seeing the subtleties in the world or the universe kind of unfolding in front of us, not just with Din and all Kara and all our main characters, but the world itself and seeing how it's evolving, with the school and all that stuff and the macaroons or whatever the hell he was eating there and throwing up or whatever. But, just a larger world that we're getting to see now and how it's coping. And then, of course, we got the New Republic coming in and talking to Cara Dune and saying there's something else going on here. So that was really cool. But again, it seemed a little weird because Din kind of left in the middle of it. And he's kind of like our guy that we're living vicariously through, right? Like I said last week, we're going through Galaxy's Edge with him. So anyway, that's just my take on all this. I don't know if you guys agree, disagree. Let me know in the comments or just get back to us. Let me know in Discord. We had a lot of fun talking about things in Discord. And it's always funny when at the 4 a.m. discussion, I'm like I'm tired, excited, and it's a lot of things. So I say things that I don't even realize I said. Like last week, I said, why'd they throw him in the pit? Obviously, they wanted his armor, and it didn't dawn on me. But then again, if they threw him in the pit, they'd have to kill that creature to get the armor. But anyway, that was last week. We're moving on. So anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Make sure you check out Jonesy and Albert and their full breakdown, far more in depth than what I'm doing. But I did like this episode overall. Was it as good as last week's? No. Is it going to be as good as this week coming up with Ahsoka? I highly doubt it. It's probably going to be the best episode we've had of the series so far. With that, I am going to get out of here, stop driving you people nuts, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'll see you next week. I mean, it's hard to believe we're on to chapter 13 already. My God, it's going by quick. All right, I'm out of here, everybody. You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property, and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.